Welcome to the Basic Civil Engineering lecture series by Roy M.Thomas.
Now we will see the principles of survey. All this survey work, it is depends upon or based on two principles. The first principle, and the second principle. The first principle says location or locating of one point with respect to two known points, and the second principle is called work from whole to path. So, all the survey work, it is based on either locating or location of one point with respect to two known points or work from whole to path. Now, we will see the first one. What is meant by locating or location of one point with respect to two known points? Suppose if you have A and B like this, the third point C can be located if you know distance AC and distance BC, right. That means locating one point with respect to two known points, locating C with respect to A and B, that is the first principle. Or if you have 2 points A and B, the third point C can be located if you know this angle BAC and the distance AC, then also it is possible. Locating C with respect to A and B, locating one point with respect to two known points. Or if you have 2 points A and B, the third point C can be located if you know theta 1 and theta 2, right. If you know these two angles, you can very easily locate the third point. So, locating one point with respect to two known points. Or if you have 2 points A and B, the third point C can be located if you know the perpendicular offset CD. If you know this distance, you can very easily locate the third point C. So, all these cases you can see the third point or locating one point with respect to two known points, that is the first principle of survey. So, once you locate the third point, the fourth point can be located again with respect to these 2 points or these 2 points, like that you can mark or locate any number of points on the ground. This is the first principle of survey. Now, coming to the second principle, that is mainly applied in the case of road work. Suppose if there is a long road like this, one of the purpose of the survey is to mark the road. So, the procedure is like this: stretch a baseline or main line along the side of the road, construct small triangles like this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Now, take perpendicular offsets, that is measure this distance inner boundary as well as this distance to the outer boundary at equal interval from all the sides of all the triangle to take the perpendicular offsets. Measure this distance, measure this distance. So, from the sides of all the triangles, measure the inner offset as well as outer offset. Now, to mark this road to a suitable, with the help of a suitable scale to the drawing sheet or graph sheet, the procedure is like this: redraw that line AB to a suitable scale, redraw this triangle, construct these triangles and take the offset to a suitable scale. According to our convenience, take a suitable scale and then you can mark that road. So, the entire work, the whole work is divided into small part, here a small part, here a small part, that is why it is called work from whole to part. So, here each readings are independent. Suppose if you commit any mistake in taking this reading, that will not affect this reading or this reading. So, if you are marking this distance and marking this distance, if you are getting another point here, you can discard that measurement or that reading. So, that is the advantage of this work, each reading is independent. So, first principle is location of one point with respect to two known points, you can mark any number of points on the ground. This second principle is work from whole to part, that is mainly applied in the road work, that is road survey. Next is ranging. Ranging means marking intermediate points between 2 points, that is called ranging. So, when I explain that use of ranging rod, I have mentioned how to mark intermediate points. Suppose A is here and B is here. If this distance is less than the chain length, very easily you can stretch the chain and measure the distance. Suppose if it is a 100 meter or 200 meter, how to mark intermediate points in this line, straight line. So, procedure is like this: fix a ranging rod at A, fix a ranging rod at B. Now, stand in front of the ranging rod at A and give instruction to your assistant to come to this line. You can stand here and you can give instruction, move left or right. So, at one particular position you will be able to see only one ranging rod. That means all the 3 ranging rods are in the same line. Like that you can mark any number of points between A and B. This process is called ranging, and this particular method is called direct ranging. So, why it is called direct ranging? If the points are visible each other, if you stand at A, B is visible, or if you stand at B, A is visible. If that is the case, to mark intermediate points, the direct ranging is adopted. Suppose if you stand at A, B is not visible, how to mark intermediate points? The method adopted is called indirect ranging. Indirect ranging. Indirect ranging. Now, I explain the indirect ranging. So, when that situation occurs, if you stand at A, B is not visible, or if you stand at B, A is not visible. Example for such case, suppose points are on the opposite side of a hill, say assume A here and B on the opposite side of the hill. If that is the case, if you stand at A, B may not be visible. So, how to mark intermediate points between A and B to get the straight distance? The procedure is like this. Now, I will draw the top view of the point A, top view of the point B. This is the straight distance. Now, to mark intermediate points, procedure is like this. Take 2 points M and N on the side of the hill. So, assume A here, B there. So, select 2 points on the side of the hill, M there and N there. Okay. Now, keep ranging rods at A, at M, at N, at B. Select 2 points on the side of the hill and keep ranging rods at A, M, N and B. Now, stand at A and ask the person at M to come to the line AN. It is nothing but direct ranging. Now, ask this person to come to the line AN. Let it be M1. Okay. Now, continue this. That means, ask the person at N to come to the line M1B. Again direct ranging. Let it be N1. Now, ask the person at M1 to come to the line AN1 with the ranging rod, say M2. Now, ask the person at N1 to come to the line M2B with the ranging rod, say N2. Continue this, you will get 2 points M and N on the straight line AB. M and N are 2 typical points. You can select 2 points here, then you can transfer. Select another 2 points here, then you can transfer. Similarly, this also you can transfer with the help of the newly transferred point. So, I repeat. So, if the points are not visible each other, select 2 points on the side of the hill, keep ranging rod at A, M, N and B. Now, ask the person at M to come to the line A, N. That point is M1. Now, ask the person at N to come to the line M1B. That point is N1. Now, ask the person at M1 to come to the line AN1. Let it be M2. Now, ask the person at N1 to come to the line M2B. Let it be N2. Continue, continue, continue. You will get M and N on AB. This procedure is called indirect ranging. This procedure is called indirect ranging. So, indirect ranging is adopted if the points are not visible. To mark intermediate points, if the points are not visible, indirect ranging is adopted. If the points are visible each other, direct range. Whatever be the measurements we are taking in the field, whether it is a length or an angle, it should be entered in a small book that is called field book. Field book. It is a small oblong book about 20 centimeter by 12 centimeter size, and it is having 1.5 centimeter gap. Two lines are there at the center, that is actually the margin. So, whatever be the measurements you are taking in the field, that should be entered in the field book. I will draw an enlarged view of the field book. So, a small oblong book, these are the margin 1.5 centimeter apart. Now, assume there is a field like this, one building here, another building here. So, this is lab block, and assume this is software block. Assume there is a compound wall here and the gate, say CUSAT gate, SOE gate. Now, the purpose is we have to plot this. So, that means you have to conduct the survey work here. Now, if you want to conduct the survey work here, whatever be the measurements you are taking while conducting the survey, you have to enter in that field book. Now, to start, stretch the main line or base line, say A and say B. Now, whatever be the measurements you are taking in the field, immediately enter in that field book. So, I will write here 0 chainage, line AB starts, here line AB ends. Now, to mark this lab block, from 0 chainage you measure this distance. With this single measurement you can't plot in a later stage. So, what you have to do is you take one more measurement from say 5 meter. So, here from 0 say 20 point, assume 20.5 meter. You are taking this measurement, immediately you enter it here towards right side 20.5 meter, and from 5th meter chainage again taking towards right side another say 10.1. Similarly, towards the left side, measure this distance, immediately you here also, this side also. So, immediately you enter it here, whatever be the measurement, similarly towards the left side. So, here one point, as per the first principle, one point is located from 2 points, so that you can mark this point. So, immediately you can mark this point and this point. Then from here say chainage, assume say 100 meter, again measure this distance, towards left side measure this, say from say 150 meter, again measure this distance, measure this. Say immediately you enter it here, say 100 meter, measuring this distance, measuring towards right side, from 150 meter, again measuring this. Now, you got the extreme end of the building. So, now we can plot the building here also this building. So, whatever be the measurements, you have to enter the exact reading, what you are getting here, you have to enter it here, all these places. So, whatever be the measurements you are taking in the field, that should be entered in a small book, that is called field book, and this procedure is called booking field notes. This procedure is called booking field notes. So, if you want to measure the boundary, or if you want to mark the boundary also, you take the distances to the boundary from 2 points to the different point, then you can mark the boundary also. If that is the case, you have to write boundary. So, this procedure is called booking field notes. Okay. And there is no written rule exactly this baseline in between these two. Baseline, main line can be like this, or main line can be like this, or main line can be like this. According to our convenience, you can take the main line. If you get a field work, means if I say you go and conduct the survey work in CUSAT campus, what should be the first step? Say for example, one building here another building here, now compound wall here. Now, how to plot this? That is the purpose of survey, one of the purpose of survey. So, how to plot? First, you have to stretch the chain. As I have already mentioned, there is no written rule that chain line should be like this. It can be like this, it can be like this, it can be like this. How you decide that? Which direction is best suitable for you? By sitting here, you may not be able to say which direction is best. So, the first step of the survey work or the field work is called reconnaissance. Reconnaissance means just to go to the site, just to walk around the site and get all the maximum details about the site. That is called the study of the site. So, once you visit the site, you will get an idea, oh, this direction is not good, okay, some obstruction is there, oh, this direction, oh, this. Once you visit, you can decide, oh, this direction is the best direction to get the maximum details from that line. So, that step, that is in a single word you can say study of the site, that is called reconnaissance. So, reconnaissance means visiting the site and collecting all the details about the site. In a single word you can say it is a study of the site. So, first you have decided, oh, this is the best direction for the baseline or the chain line. What is the next step? Next step is you have to mark the station point, marking station points, marking station points. Which instrument is used? Peg is used to mark the station point. Suppose if you can finish the work say within say half an hour or 1 hour, even ranging rods can be used to mark the station points. So, either peg or ranging rod. Suppose if this surface is very hard, some road is there or some paving blocks are there, you can use peg, you can use ranging rod. If that is the case, even nails can be used to mark the station points. So, either peg, ranging rod, nail. Suppose if it takes say 1 year or say 1 month, if you keep a ranging rod there, the very next day it may not be there. So, if that is the case, we can construct small pillars, temporary pillars about 30 centimeter height with brick and mortar. That is what exactly the masons are doing to mark the center line of the coming up building. They used to construct a small pillar and used to plaster at the top and mark the center line. So, there are many ways to mark the station point, either peg, ranging rod, nail or constructing small pillars. So, first you have decided after studying the site, this line is this direction is suitable, then mark the station point. Next step, suppose if you want to recheck or do the survey after say 5 years, this pillar may not be there. So, if that is the case, the third step is preparation of reference sketches. That means at least one station points, either A or B, should be referred to 3 permanent objects. 3 permanent object means it can be to the bottom of a tree, measure this distance, say 8.80 meters. Measure the distance to the compound wall, to the gate, say 6.13 meter. Measure the distance to the bottom of a building, say 7.13 meters. Now, after measuring these distances, prepare a sketch like this. So, if you have this sketch with you, even after 5 years or 10 years, very easily you can locate the point A. Once you get point A, the other measurements are with you, you can cross check or you can carry out the survey work. So, third step is preparation of reference sketches, and final step, running survey line. Running survey line means stretch the chain and measure the distance. Hold one end of the chain and throw the entire portion to the ground and jerk it 2 or 3 times, it will come in the straight direction and measure the distances. So, these are the 4 stages involved in the field work. Reconnaissance means study of the site, marking stations either with a peg, ranging rod, nail or by constructing small pillars, then at least one station point either A or B. Refer to 3 permanent object and prepare a sketch like this, that is called preparation of reference sketches, then measuring the distances. Even if you take these much precautions, when you stretch the chain, there may be obstructions. So, if obstructions come, how to overcome the obstructions? There are three types of obstruction. There are three types of obstruction. The first type of obstruction, chaining free, but vision obstructed. What it means? Chaining free, but vision obstructed. You can stretch the chain, but you can't see the point. Example for such obstruction? You can't see the points, but you can stretch the chain. Example, opposite side of a hill. If you stand at A, B may not be visible. You can't see that point, but you can stretch the chain from A to B. That is the example for such obstruction. Chaining free, you can stretch the chain from A to B, but if you stand at A, B may not be visible. So, if that is the case, how to overcome such a difficulty? Assume this is the point A, this is the point B. Now, you want this distance AB. Once you stand at A, B not be visible. If you stand at B, A may not be visible. If that is the case, construct a random line like this. Measure AC and BC. Now, you can calculate what is AB. AC square plus BC square. Or you can mark intermediate points by indirect ranging, and also you can measure the distance. So, this is the first type of obstruction, chaining free, vision obstructed. Second type of obstruction, vision free but chaining obstructed. Vision free chaining obstructed. What it means? If you stand at A, B is visible. If you stand at A, B is visible, okay, but you can't stretch the chain due to some obstruction. Example, if you stand at A, B is visible, okay, B can be seen, right, but if you try to stretch the chain, some obstructions are there. Example, a river or a pond. If that is the case, how to overcome? So, assume there is a pond here, you want this distance AB. If you stand at A, B is visible, but you can't stretch the chain. If that is the case, measure this distance AC and this angle theta, ACB, angle ACB, then AB can be calculated, that is AC tan theta. Like that you can overcome such difficulty. So, first chaining free, vision obstructed, vision free, chaining obstructed. What is the third type of obstruction? Yes, obviously vision as well as chaining obstructed. You can see the points, you can stretch the chain, that is such obstruction. So, how to overcome such a difficulty? Third obstruction, vision and chaining obstructed. Example, if you stand at A, B is not visible, assume B is on the next row. If you stand at here, I can't see that point and I can't stretch the chain. So, example, building, a tree in between A and B. Say A here, assume B here, I am drawing the top view. In between A and B there is a building, assume a building here, but I want that distance AB, no compromise. So, how to measure that distance, how to get that distance? So, if that is the case, construct two offsets, perpendicular offset, equal perpendicular offset, say AE and CD, two equal perpendicular offset, that is to get the straight line. If you join ED and extend, you will get a straight line, that is why same offsets are taken. Now, join ED and extend it until you overcome this obstruction. So, once you overcome, again set out that perpendicular offset. I will call this point as F, G, H. So, construct a parallel line outside the obstruction. So, if I want this distance, construct a parallel line outside this obstruction and measure that distance. So, here what we want is AB. So, that is equal to, as per this figure, it is EG, that is all. So, instead of measuring this one, measure a parallel distance. So, there are three types of obstruction. First is chaining free, vision obstructed, Pythagoras theorem. Second obstruction is vision free, chaining obstructed, tan theta formula. Third one is vision and chaining obstructed. Construct a parallel line and measure that distance. Okay? Thank you.